Welcome to TradingLounge and the Australian report. This market that we're looking at here is the XFJ, which is the finance sector for Australia. And what we've been focused on from this little move up through here, I recognised that it was 5 waves, so I knew that we would have a correction here, and then we would have our next sequence moving to the upside here. And this strong move here is what would be expected of a third wave in Elliott terms. So looking at this structure here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to go up through here further. So this move up here is not finished yet. However, in this 5 waves moving up here, and this will also govern the ASX 200 as well. So when we take this high here and have this retracement down to this point here, we can see that the market's at the 61.8% retracement level. So and yeah, it's also going to mirror this price action across here as well, and this old high here and so on. So we should expect some sort of correction here, and we have been expecting that, not only in the banks but also in the ASX as well. So this little move here, I'm just not quite sure if in this case it looks like there could be just another little tiny 5 waves up here first. I'll get that working. No. Something like that before we see this larger correction here. But we're in this space, you know what I mean? We're not in a trending part here. So markets are trends and corrections of different degrees, and you have to understand where you are within the sequence. And where we are within the sequence is the corrective stage here in the banking sector. But what I want to point out, we've got wave 1 and 2 in here. This is the third wave. We're looking at a 4th wave here, either starting from this point here or having one more little high up for this particular section, and then another move to the upside from there. So when we look at the banks, I'll start with CommBank because it's the bigger one. Last time we spoke, we were looking for a move back into this space here. So we've pretty much got that, but I also understand too that, and this wave 3 can also be here as well, the situation here with wave 4s can get complicated, so we need to be a little bit patient here. So we could end up with an A wave, a B wave like here, and a C wave here, and then another 5 waves down here to complete this off, and then a move up here. That's the thing with the wave 4s, we're never really quite sure, so we just need to have a little bit more patience with them at this stage. So this little pattern here could also reflect back into the ASX 200, and the other markets are like this too in their own way. If we look at this is ANZ here on a 1 hour chart, so it's starting to correct back here as well. I want to see if that moves back further. It's a little bit hard to read this section in here, so I haven't really bothered with that, but I'll go to Westpac. That's been a little bit cleaner, but not quite there as well. So we can see with this structure here moving to the upside here, that it's also not complete as well. We've got a series, we've got the building trend has got a beginning, a middle and an end, and the beginning is the building part where you have those steep retracements, and then you have the center of the trend, the powerful point, and then the end of the trend up here is a bit like the beginning of the trend. It sort of starts to overlap and struggle and so on. Once again, this is not a very clear count in here as well. I'm not quite sure if we get one more little move up here and then have this correction, or we continue to have this correction down at this point here. I'm not quite sure about this one just yet either. But coming back to the ASX 200 here and talking about strategies to move forward here, this is just the 1 hour chart here, and when we were arriving up here, I drew this little pattern here, and it's basically the arrival, the reaction. So the arrival, the reaction here, and then the first high above the level, which is in 5 waves. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. Once we've got that top there, that becomes our reference point, and that's why I put the green line in there today. I was looking for this wave 4 to pull back here to, whoopsie-daisy, the wave 4 to pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here, which is the green one, or the 38.2% retracement level, which is the lower end of this rectangle box here. So also to this green structure here, then we've got the blue one, the minute degree here, which this one here is bigger than this one here. So it stands to reason that we would have a bigger correction here, a bigger looking correction. So the green one is an ABC here for this correction here. So I can't put this wave 4 here because this little pattern here is actually smaller than the previous smaller degree of structure. So that's not correct. So I've either got to put this over here, and that means that I would look at this. It may open a bit higher or whatever, but looking for 5 waves down here for this, and then moving up here. That's one possibility. The other possibility, and then that would make it here, if I can just, would be 1 degree bigger. So it'll be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave down here. Let's move these out of the way a little bit. So it would be like that here. And I best just save that. So we're getting close to a setup here. We just don't want to get sort of caught in a trap here. The other mistake that I could make here with all of this is that I've got 5 waves up here, but it could also be that that I've got a wave 1 here, then an ABC back for wave 2 here, and then we're going up for wave 3 here, and in wave 3, so we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. But to me, this can be, just remove that here, put that back here, just to sort of point that out here. But as it stands at the moment, I would imagine that this would be the A wave here, this is the B wave here. So I know that this first leg is corrective. And because we've got 3 waves here, by the way, I know at some point we're going to be taking that top out. Okay, if we had 5 waves here, then it could leave a question mark, would we take that higher? But because we've got 3 here, I know we'll take it out. And it would be, you know, and if we got a correction here, normally when you get 3 waves in the first leg, the A wave, it makes it a flat correction. And a flat correction is, I just might draw it in a nice clean space here. So a flat correction, we've moved up, and we get 3 waves down here, and then we would get, that would be the A wave, then the B wave here, and it would be a flat correction because it basically stays flat here, and then we would get the 5 waves in this little structure here for wave C, and then would move off from there. So an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. So it's a 3, 3, 5 structure. If we got the market moved up and we got 5 waves down here, like this in the first leg down, then of course we'd still get 3 waves here, but the other 5 waves would take us lower at this point here, like this here, and then move up from there. So a 5, 3, 5 structure in this case. But because we've got 3 waves here, it's a flat correction. So we may only end up coming back down to this level here. So in terms of strategy and staying safe, if first we'd like to buy a new high, so if this high here gets breached here, then we can go along from there. But really there's no rush to take that first trigger there as well, because we've got this double top here, which is never the end of a trend. But it also means that the market would react there. So this pattern here would see a smaller version of this happen in group 1 here, so 5, 9 here, then we've got 10, 20 and 30, which is group 1. You know that if you get support on top of group 1, which is always the number 3 there, the 9, 30, the 30, 10, 20 and 30, if you get tested support there, well then we're going to be going up from there. So if this market was going to move up, it would move up because remember that this is a possible flat pattern here, so that means that the market could go up to the old high here and then give it enough space to have its 5 waves back down to make it flat here again, and then move up through that way. Okay, but if we were going to go higher, we would move up here anyway. We would get up to the old highs here. It might react from there. It may even go a little bit higher here, but then we would have a little ABC pattern, probably finding support on the 20, the number 2 here, the pivot within group 1, and then move up from there. So you can normally take that one to go there. So if you wanted to refine it, that's how you would move in from that point there. We just got to be careful we're not going to get, I mean, this at this stage here, from wave A here to wave B here, is looking quite good here already as a wave A here, a wave B here, and then a wave C coming in here with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 not quite finished yet. So it's quite possible 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 that's not finished yet. So it can, it can move higher into this space here. So yeah, we're just not out of the woods yet with this particular pattern, and we just need to be a little bit mindful that we don't, we don't buy here and then end up getting this 5 wave structure down here and getting trapped. So yeah, so it's Wednesday today, so we know that Wednesday and Thursday in a bullish market are the swing days. It normally starts on Tuesday, profit taking on Tuesday. So Wednesday and Thursday is the thing to get through at this stage. So yeah, let's just see. Look, in a nutshell, all I can offer is that if we get support on top of 5930, then you can go long from that point. But at the same time, this can play out as an ABC, pulling back down into this space, into this low area here. So that's it. Unfortunately, I mean, if you wanted to trade short, the only place you could trade short at would be 5.9 as a retested resistance there. So yeah. Yeah, there's not a lot to be had here. This is the thing. Normally, you would trade up to a level, you would get out, and you really wait for all of this process across the level to mature, and then you would buy the new highs. If you could figure out exactly where you were, like if we got 5 waves down here, then we don't know exactly where we are, and then we could start building in earlier here on group 2 here. Anywhere through here. But we're not there yet. But it could just move straight up here and take the top out, and you'd go with that, but look for that support there. All right, I'll sign off because I'm just waffling on a little bit. But they're subtle points, but they're important points. All righty, cheers.